Hello and welcome to Professor Pincushion. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create the button band, also known as the front band. In my example here, it's the white strip of fabric that's going right down the center of my button-down shirt. Its main purpose, of course, is to have the buttonholes and buttons on it. Let's go ahead and get started. The piece that's going to be attached to our shirt is going to be a button band, or sometimes it's labeled as a front band. You need to make sure that you have two cut out of your fabric and two cut out of your inner facing, because we're going to have one on the left side of the shirt and one on the right side of the shirt. The first thing we need to do is to apply our interfacing to both our front band pieces. So I'm going to be using the fusible interfacing. I already have this cut out. There'll be one side where you feel the glue bubbles, and then the other side will be smooth. The side with the glue bubbles goes to the wrong side of the band. Now I'm just using a simple cotton, so it doesn't really look like there's a wrong side or a right side, but you just got to pick one. So I'm going to place this, line everything up, and then I'm going to put a cloth over it to protect it. I already have my iron heating up. You want it to be pretty hot so that it fuses together properly. So here's my cloth. I'm going to dampen this just a little bit. You don't want it soaking wet, you just want your cloth damp. And then you're going to grab your iron, place it down for about 5 seconds or so. And then when you want to move to a new area, lift it up. And instead of just shifting it over, you lift it up and then you place it down in the next spot. And you're going to do that until the interfacing is completely fused to both your front band pieces. On our front band, we have two long edges, but you'll notice that one edge has a notch. This is going to be matched with our front bodice piece. So on the side opposite of that, the one that doesn't have the notch, you're going to press up whatever your seam allowance is. And I'm looking at the wrong side here. So this is the right side, and then I'm pressing up to the wrong side, all on this whole edge. So either 5/8 of an inch, if that's what your seam allowance is, or 1/2 inch, and you're going to press it. And I already have one done. So this is my other one. And it's all pressed. And then after it's pressed, you're going to trim off, so you're leaving 3/8 of an inch left on. So you just need to trim off a little bit off this edge, leaving just a little bit on, and you're just trimming this raw edge, nothing else. Next, we're going to go ahead and attach our front bands to each side of our front bodice. I'm just going to show you on one, but you're going to do the same exact thing on the other side as well. So we're going to place band right side to right side of bodice, and you're going to be matching up the edge that has the notch. I have a little notch right here, I accidentally cut it off, so it's a little inverted notch right here. So when I place this right side to right side, that notch should match up. Also, the top and bottom is going to match up as well. So when I'm looking at the band, I'm looking at the side that has the interfacing and also the folded side over here. I'm going to go ahead, pin all along this edge, and then we'll take it to our machine. I'm attaching the front band and the front bodice at the designated seam allowance. Don't forget to backstitch at the beginning and end. And I'm just doing a regular length stitch. When you finish sewing your seam, you can go ahead and trim your seam allowance. So you're leaving about 3/8 of an inch again. So we're just trimming just a little bit off that raw edge. And you can go ahead, keep your seam allowance closed, and press it towards the front band. So it's going in this direction. Flip the shirt over so you're looking at the right side of the shirt. You're going to take this folded edge of your front band and make it line up with the seam line here. So for me, it's going white to white, just right at the edge here. And you can go ahead and pin this. Now I'm looking at, this is the bottom of the shirt. I'm going to pin this because I'm going to stitch whatever my seam allowance is right across the bottom of the front band only. You can see my stitches here. We're going to trim most of this away because we're going to be flipping this area right side out next. So when you're trimming, you just need to leave a little bit of white. You're going to trim across here and then trim down here. I'm not actually trimming over into this side. We don't want to cut our shirt. We're just cutting the front band section. So you can leave about 1/4 of an inch, go across, and then trim off. Here's the bottom of my shirt again. You can see it's trimmed, and I just want to point out I didn't trim off the seam allowance completely. I want to leave a little bit on because the next step is we're going to flip this right side out. And this part is going to be eventually tucked in to our band there. So if you cut directly on the blue, it might make it a little bit more difficult. If you leave a little bit on there, then it's really easy to tuck that in. So this is all now bring this folded edge to your seam line, and you can go ahead and pin it, and you can press all this so it looks nice and neat and it's all folded in half. Just so you can see it a little bit more clearly, I'm taking this folded edge and bringing it to these stitches right here on the inside of the shirt. So that's all going to be enclosed, and we're not going to really see those stitches once this is finished. Next, we're going to be doing a slip stitch right along this edge of the shirt. So that's going to keep it closed. I'm going to go ahead and use a contrasting thread, but you definitely want to use one that is matching. And you're going to start at the top of the shirt and then work your way down to the bottom of the shirt. I'm starting here on the band. You can see it's just right on the edge there. And then I'm going to grab just a little bit of my shirt fabric right on the other side of my stitches. And then gently pull that, and then it's going to keep that closed. Then I'm going to go back to the band. So my white fabric, pull that through, and then I'm going to go back to the shirt. You're just going to make really nice and tiny stitches, and that way it'll look a lot neater. And also, if you're using a matching thread, it's also going to look a lot neater. So I'm just going to continue on with this until I get towards the bottom of my shirt. You're going to stop slip stitching about 3 inches from the bottom. This is because we still need to do the hem, and we need to make sure that we have room to fold it under and stuff. So you're going to stop slip stitching. I just stopped right about here. Then I'm going to complete the rest of the shirt. Once I do the hem, and this hem is all done, then I can finish slip stitching this later. At the top of the shirt, you're going to do a basting stitch right across the front band, and you can either do that at the seam allowance or a little bit smaller than the seam allowance, but you just need to do it for this white part, which is the front band. The basting stitch is going to be the longest stitch on your machine, and you just go across like that, and that'll keep the front band closed. At this point, we're kind of done with the front band because we still have to move on to the rest of the construction of the shirt. You need to put on a collar if you need one, sew the front to the back, and all that kind of stuff. Once you get to the point where you're getting ready to finish the shirt and put on the buttonholes and buttons, then we're going to move back to this. So this part, what you would do, we're going to pretend like there's already a collar and my shirt's pretty much already assembled, is you're going to do an edge stitch. This is really going to make this part look really nice and neat. And what that is you're basically doing an outline stitch right along the edge of the front band. So I would be going down this edge, stitch across the bottom, then this side, and then you're going to go across the top wherever the collar and the band meets. The edge stitch is going to be a regular length stitch, and you can see I'm going right along that edge there as close as I can, and it'll give it a really professional appearance. You should have marks on your front band pattern piece indicating where you need to place the buttons and buttonholes. So the little bracket here, which you can also see drawn here, that's for a buttonhole, and the X is going to be the button. Normally, the buttons for girls are going to be on the left side of the shirt. If you're wearing the shirt, it's on the left side, and buttonholes is going to be on the right side. And for men, it's usually the opposite of that. So you need to make sure that you have these marks transferred to the appropriate front band. And if you need help on how to do machine buttonholes, definitely check out our tutorial. We have one showing you exactly how to do that. Here we have the front band a little further in the process. So I've added buttonholes and buttons, so it's a little bit more complete and can now function as a button-down shirt. New tutorials are released weekly, so please subscribe to be notified of the next release. Make sure to check out our other videos and visit ProfessorPincushion.com to view our complete library with well over 200 sewing video tutorials, including our exclusive premium content. Our premium membership is only $5 a month for unlimited access and only available at ProfessorPincushion.com. Also, don't forget to download our mobile app for videos on the go. Thanks for watching.